much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. Just a quick edit. I know that in the last episode at the end, it stated that we were going to be talking about Home Dad Con, but seeing as how Thanksgiving is upon us, we thought it would be fun to do the Thanksgiving episode first, and then we'll have the Home Dad Con podcast episode for the next week. So look forward to that and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Home Dad Chat. I am one of your dads on the mic. My name is Brock Lush, and with me tonight I have my other good friend.
This is Danny Mercer.
And Danny and I, we are coming off just a long day. You can probably hear it in our voice a little bit, a little tired or whatever. And anybody listening to this that's a dad or even a stay-at-home parent, you completely understand what it's like. But we're going to have a good time tonight. Tonight, we're going to have some fun talking about Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. It's a different time. And but we want to share a little bit about what we're doing for Thanksgiving. We're also going to share some of the things that some of the guys within the National At Home Dad Facebook close page shared with us about what they're doing for Thanksgiving as well. But before we get into that, I just want to thank everybody who's been listening to the episodes. It's been really neat to see the different comments and different pieces of encouragement that have been coming forth. And so I just wanted to give everybody just a quick thank you for that. It's been really cool. Danny, how was your day today?
You know, it was long. It was. It's definitely one of those things you get up in the morning and you just think, okay, I can do this. Everything's good. I'm good. And then by maybe lunch or at dinner, if you're really in good shape, maybe you're just worn out. It's been the laundry journey today has been especially difficult for us. And my oldest she's in Future Farmers of America. So, and that's cool. And I'm not a farmer, but it's a good program, and she's looking to be a veterinarian, and she's doing all these things. And she said, Dad, I'm going to be working with the goats this afternoon. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. Well, she wore her tennis shoes into the goat pen, which is a big runoff area with grass around it. It's a huge area, and she's covered in mud. And it's not regular mud. It's that stinky farm mud, which I'm very familiar with, you may be too. And she brings her shoes in a bag, and she's in her bare feet, and she gets in the van, and I'm like, what is that? And she's like, yeah, I got my shoes are kind of dirty. And I'm like, So we spent the afternoon basically brushing those off, spraying them off. And then I ran them through actually a gentle cycle in the washing machine. Because they're older shoes, so even if they wrecked them, it wouldn't be bad. But it was just, and my wife comes in at some point, and she's like, "Wow, you're just really good at this laundry stuff." I'm like, don't. That's not a compliment. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, I was like, this is not the compliment I want right now.
This is not where I want to excel. So, but other than that, it's been good. How about you?
It's been good in ways and long in others. We were talking a little bit before we actually hit record on this day or on this episode, and just dealing with a 7-year-old and all the things that come with that, and he's a different kid than he was a year ago, and I think I'm just trying to grasp that a little bit. And so that, along with the pandemic, it's just there's so many different things that are going on, and it's one of those deals where it's like, I think you have that like, oh, he's a sweet boy. And it's like, all right. And he's growing up, and it's like, he's still my sweet boy. But at the same time, like, man, he's so challenging. And
that's a great word, challenging.
And it's even worse when you talk to my mom about it. She's like, oh, you were the same way. And I'm like, thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. But, but I guess that gives me the appreciation to know, like, if that's the case, like, I mean, I know how I turned out, minus a few little details of decisions I've made in my life. But if he gets to where I am right now, I'll be happy with how that turns out.
At least if he's closer than where he is now, then that's progress right there.
Definitely. Well, and I think too, like, he's growing up differently than I did in some ways. Like, I mean, not that my childhood was bad in any kind of way, but I feel like he's got so much more opportunity, and he's way more cultured than I was at 7. So
that's great.
So I think those kind of things will bode well for him as he gets older. But yeah, I mean, it was a long day. I can definitely say like laundry was one of the things on my list today. Definitely did that, and I cooked dinner tonight and cleaned that up. My wife had to actually go to work and pick up her stuff from the office because the office said we're not going to open back up, so come get all your personal effects. And
Oh, wow.
and kind of go there. So she had a little bit of a bittersweet moment having to go to the office, and she said it was really eerie walking in, but got her stuff and got out. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, like it's been a weird week. It was a weird week last week too for me, but I was feeling pretty sick. I got to feeling really bad after we did the last episode. And so
Oh, was it my breath?
you know what? I'm really glad it wasn't. No, I went in for my annual checkup and I got a flu shot, and that flu shot just really messed me up. And
I
so,
remember you mentioning that. Yeah.
And
was
so
sore and-
it was rough. And you know, at one point I actually spiked a fever, which kind of tripped me out a little bit. But I think it was a combination of like dehydration and like a sinus infection, because I mean it went away pretty quickly, and I haven't felt anything since. I've got this really froggy throat. I could probably sing you a really good Johnny Cash song right now, but we won't do that. I promise. I'll save your ears.
We want to keep listeners.
That's right. We want to keep listening. So, but anyway, yeah. So one of the things that's been talked around the house, and I think probably your house too, has got to be the upcoming, you know, wonderful Thanksgiving and just
Getting
all
ready,
that comes
yeah.
with it. Yeah, and you know, like I said, we went on to the National At Home Dad closed page, announced that we were going to be doing this episode, and just wanted to get guys to sort of chime in about what they were doing. I don't know. Do you have the Facebook page pulled up at all?
I do, and I want to know how you, as the master podcaster you are, and we all know that, you're going to get a picture of Matt Strain's Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, I can pull that up.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, give it to the podcast, because it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, anybody that doesn't know, Matt Strain is a chef. He always says, before I started this back in the day, but he's still he's still doing it. He may not really be able to claim it in his eyes, but
Yeah.
man, that guy knows how to cook.
Yeah. So
And I can't. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. So he posted a picture of what is it here? He's got it's a turkey breast. Roulade. I don't know how to say that word.
I was hoping you would, because I didn't either. I don't know that.
I don't know. He'll tell me later, I'm sure. But it's this amazing turkey breast that he's filled with sage and dried cherries and pomegranate pips and like cream cheese, and he's wrapped it in bacon, and it just looks unbelievably amazing. Like,
Yeah.
It's exactly what you would expect from Matt Strain when it comes to meat.
Right. Yes.
You know, and so actually I ended up getting the recipe for it from him too. So,
Good.
Yeah. So and it's actually down here in the thread, which is pretty neat.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
And it's not hard to make. That's the part that's great about it. It's super
it does
easy.
look really easy. I mean, it really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to try it for Thanksgiving, but he mentioned that it was so good he was going to have it again for Christmas, and I'm like, I might be able to fit one in there between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I showed it to my wife. I sent a picture, and she was like, we were talking about just doing steak, but I like this idea better. So I was like, yeah, maybe. But and that kind of brings me to the first point here. Like, so we got this in here with Matt, but first off, like, does your family have like a set entree that they lean towards? Like, are you a turkey family, or
We're definitely a turkey family. Yeah, we've had varying amounts of turkey, but we always have at least one, and I generally end up making two. If the kids are going to school and the wife is going to work, then I want enough for leftovers, basically. So yeah, I usually have at least one turkey.
how are you doing your turkeys? Are you just doing them in the oven, or do you got a special thing you do?
Alton Brown. Now, I used to fry them, all right, and I love frying turkey, but the oil is expensive, and I just can't. I can't do it this year. I can't. No, I should say we probably have the money in the budget, but I'm like, I could get 2 turkeys and not buy the oil and just put them in the oven. So, but Alton Brown has this recipe. Now he brines it first, which I think every good cook probably knows about brining, but he brines it in, and I'm gonna read this because I don't ever remember but it's vegetable stock, brown sugar, peppercorns, allspice, and candied ginger.
Oh, wow.
All right.
That sounds
So
delicious.
yeah, you brine it overnight, and it soaks up all that flavor, and then you put like apples and onions and cinnamon stick, and kind of boil them all together, and then pour them into it, and then you bake it on a very high temperature. I do mine at about 500 on my oven, but only for 30 minutes, and you get that brown skin immediately, and then you leave it in the oven up until it reaches 160 internal. And it's 160-ish. I think Matt would say, if we go back to Matt Strain again, I think he goes 155, if I remember from his chicken expos demonstration.
Yeah, 155, because when you pull it out, it's going to cook some more and the temperature is going to rise. So yeah, 155 sounds about right, because 165 is usually what poultry needs to be at for its hot temp. So,
and doing it like that, I have to say, every year, one, it's easy. I don't have to baste it. I don't have to open the oven again. Once you basically brown the skin, I can leave it in there for the time needed for it to heat up. And that meat is juicy and delicious. And the skin is nice and crisp, and it's not burnt in any way. And I think that's the way I'll probably be making a turkey for the rest of my life.
that's awesome. We should have probably started off with a little disclaimer saying we're going to make you hungry by the end of this episode.
We're going to try.
And if you're intermittent fasting right now, well, I apologize, but at the same time,
just bear with it.
I guess I'll make sure that it gets put in the post, like, hey, just disclaimer, this episode will make you hungry. Oh man. Well, that turkey sounds delicious. And my family is not we're not big on turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much. I think it's just my kids. Like, they're not real big on it. Give me a turkey leg. I'm as happy as a hillbilly out in the hay. But But otherwise, like, I can't get them to really enjoy it the way I do. So
I think it's the age. If
yeah, probably
a big part of it, because I know my younger two kids, they're 6 and 7, and they will probably they'll eat some of it, and they'll like the turkey leg. They'll fight over who gets the turkey legs, and there's two of them. They're still gonna fight, but they're gonna eat rolls probably. That's where they're going to be. They say, what kind of, because it's Hawaiian King rolls. That's the only kind. I don't make them myself. I just love those. A good bit of butter and just let's go to town. And that's what they'll do. But the older kids, since my older two are like 14 and 11, and they appreciate a bigger meal. They appreciate more flavors now that they're older. Whereas, young kids, it's just like, they eat dirt. What do they know? They have no understanding of what real food is. So I could see not having a turkey if my kids were both, we were at 7 and 4. Is that what yours are?
7 and 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If a turkey was shaped like So if turkey was sushi, they would eat it all day.
Nice.
They love eating sushi rolls and all that kind of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, no turkey here. But we had actually thought about doing, at first it was going to be like, all right, like, what do you want to eat? Because we're not going to my folks' place. We're just hanging here at the house, which we've done in the past. Like, we've tried to make our own traditions over the years, just because, like, hey, this is our family. Like, we're not going to travel. Like, my family lives 3 hours north of here. My in-laws live like 8 hours west of here, so it's a bit of a truck to get to either place, really. And so we just have had years where we're like, we're not going anywhere. But yeah, this year we were like, I really want a steak. I think that's what I want for Thanksgiving. Nice. And so I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna get a nice ribeye. She wanted a filet mignon. The kids were throwing out all kinds of stuff that they wanted. Their big thing is they wanted like shrimp cocktail. Like, they'll eat shrimp cocktail all day long.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's one of their favorite things. So that was kind of where we were going. Just like, all right, we can just make this fun and have little foods here and there. And so that's kind of where we are, or for this year, basically. I was going to get in here to where these guys are talking about some stuff. Got to go back to look at the turkey breast again, unfortunately.
Yeah. Breast roulade, whatever it is. It looks good, though.
So it looks like Brian Frampton, he's all about preparing a smoked turkey. That sounds really yummy as well.
My boy Josh Gumbert. Yeah, frying turkey.
Frying
Yeah, there you
turkey.
go.
Yep.
Yeah,
A
he
lot of
said, he
turkey
says
guys.
it's right up. He's like, it's delicious and also dangerous. And like it is, it
Yeah.
really is. If you're not careful, you could definitely burn your house down. But it's so good. I think a fried turkey is my second favorite. And the only reason I wouldn't have it as first is because of the expense of the oil. And I really don't, I don't see that it's worth it just for one turkey. Maybe if I was making several.
Now, have you ever had wild turkey, like
Mhm.
actually shot off on the farm,
Yeah.
kind or out
Where
in
you
the
had to
field, kind
pick
of
the
deal?
bird shot out of it when you ate it. Yeah.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I highly anybody who's never had wild turkey, like you need to find a hunter friend first off, and get yourself some wild turkey because it's like all dark meat basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like it's not your typical butterball where it's all white meat kind of deal, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just so much more flavorful. It's so good. My wife's grandfather was a big time hunter, and whenever we go out to her folks' place, there were always two turkeys at the house. There was the butterball, and then there was the
Yeah.
field turkey. And so I never went for the butterball because I was like, man, like this is my only time I
Right.
ever am gonna get
Yeah.
field turkey. Like this is so good. So
So what do you eat with it though? Because I've got a couple of different sides that I think this year that I've decided are going to be it. So what are your, if you were going to have a turkey or when you had it in the past, what were your favorite side dishes?
side dishes for me. So I'm a green bean casserole guy.
Oh yeah.
Love green bean casserole. My wife thinks that that's the grossest thing ever. She's just not a fan of the whole like cream of mushroom soup type of thing in it. And I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
And it's a texture issue. So
Mhm.
green bean casserole, I'm a mashed potatoes and gravy guy. Definitely. And probably just a nice butter
Yeah.
roll. My aunt, my
Yeah.
dad's sister makes these amazing butter rolls that are like the size of your face. They're so good. It's like a loaf of bread, and
Each person gets their own loaf. I love it.
yeah,
I love
I
it.
mean, she's just like, here's a handful of dough down on the thing, like goes into the oven and comes out, and it's like everybody gets a loaf. She's like the Oprah of the family. You get a loaf, and you get a
You get a
loaf.
loaf. Nice.
But it's just buttery. I mean, it's like you know how that texture is on a Hawaiian
Mhm.
on Hawaiian
Oh,
bread.
yeah.
It's the same thing. Like it's just flaky and buttery and delicious. So,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much my go-tos. I was not a cranberry. I'm not a cranberry sauce guy. Just
Mhm.
that does not
What about
appeal.
stuffing? Did you ever get dressing or stuffing that you
You know, those two things, it's hit or miss on me every year. And I've had
Well,
I've
I
had
agree.
different
Yeah.
styles. Like I've had the oyster dressing, and then I've had,
Never heard of that one.
yeah, that one's weird. Like I had that once at a friend's house. I was like, I'm gonna eat this, but I don't know. And at the
I'm
end of it,
not
I was
sure
like,
if I'll live.
it's good, but I don't think I'll be eating that again. But yeah, it just depends. Like I think that one's just got to hit me in the right mood. It's not one of my go-tos. What about you?
I think the first thing I'm going to have, honestly, is a big salad, and I'm going to have it to eat while I'm cooking. And it sounds kind of weird, but I love salads. But I have this salad that I make with like romaine and either kale or spinach or sometimes both. But then I put in cashews and raspberries and blackberries and feta cheese,
Ooh.
and then I've got this lemon poppy seed dressing that I make at home, and it's just perfect. It's just like the salad that I want to eat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be eating that all day long. So there's not going to be any by probably late lunch, probably for the turkey. Definitely doing mac and cheese because my wife loves it. She likes Alton Brown's. Again, Alton Brown is my favorite cook, I think. But his recipe for mac and cheese, where he makes this roux out of sweetened condensed milk and spice, hot sauce, basically.
Okay.
Mixes it up and puts it all in there with just a lot of cheddar cheese. So it's got a little bit of a burn to it, and then a little bit of a sweet, and then all that cheese, of course, which my wife loves cheese. So, and then probably going to do mashed potatoes without gravy because the kids aren't really great on gravy, and I just kind of, it's not worth it for me. I do have a dressing, and I didn't really ever like dressing, and it's been something that I've just kind of, like you said, it's hit or miss. That was good, this was awful, and I mean, it's just there's no consistency. But one of the other dads gave me his secret family recipe, and it's this amazing. I'm going to just kind of broad brush it because I don't want to reveal everything that's in it without his permission, really. But it's cranberries and pecans and just all of this flavor. And it's a nice warm dressing that you make in the oven. Preference, how long you want to have it in there, what have you, but it doesn't get really dry because of all the cranberries and everything in it. And it's, even my little kids love it. And that's really, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have stuffing. I think I wouldn't have any dressing like that at all.
That sounds delicious.
You mentioned no cranberries, so no cranberries here either. Pumpkin pie, pumpkin or sweet potato pie.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, so we were just talking about sides. We're not into dessert yet.
Oh, we're not into dessert. Well, see, for me,
I mean,
for me, pumpkin pie is a dessert.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see. Now I see where we're going here. Yeah. We're not talking about loading the whole plate up. We're taking this progressively.
All right, a little bit at a time, But yeah, but I think that's going to be most of it for mine. And the green beans, I'm not positive how I'm going to do them, but I love, and my kids, we all love green beans. Even the canned ones, they're not great, but we'll eat them complete, there'll be nothing left. They'll eat them all. So I'm not sure how I want to do a casserole this year. I'm not sure if I want to do the cream of mushroom soup or if I just want to basically just have green beans as a side, rather than like a casserole, but definitely having that as well. Cause I have to say, with all that mac and cheese and the rolls and the mashed potatoes and all that, I got to have some greens. It's just, it's too heavy for me. But that's about it for us, I think. Okay. And as we said, Hawaiian king rolls.
Cool. Well, we're going to pause here about food for a second and talk a little bit about the structure of Thanksgiving itself for the families, because so we got some food in there. You guys are really hungry. We're going to pause for a second, a little intermission break, halftime show, whatever you want to call it. But I thought it would be kind of interesting to look into what folks are planning to do for Christmas or for Thanksgiving this year, because it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to feel a little bit different. We're all in just this very odd place of things. There were a couple of guys who commented on this, and I think this really just kind of bodes to just different people's ideas of what they want to do. So one of the guys stated, and I'm not going to use anybody's names in this just because I just want to kind of keep it minimal, I guess, either way. One guy said that it's just their immediate family only. This will be the first since they moved from one state to another back in like 2009. And so they said, I think it's from what it sounds like, it's going to be weird for them to just be not going home for Thanksgiving or Christmas this year. Another dad stated that they're going to be doing their first ever Friendsgiving. And I've done that before. Those are actually a lot of fun. You just get a group of friends together. They said all of our families like 600 miles away or more, and we've opted to not travel back for Thanksgiving this year. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to go through all the travel stuff.
Yeah.
So they said on Saturday after Thanksgiving, 3 of their friends are coming over to enjoy a typical Thanksgiving dinner with them, bringing sides and desserts and just hanging out. And then he said that their anniversary falls on Thanksgiving this year. So they said they were just going to be having some fun after the kids went to bed, which, hey, I don't blame you one bit on that part. enjoy that time with the spouse there for sure.
A couple of drinks, some music, a romantic dinner. Yeah, just that moment too. And it's great too, they can do that because of Thanksgiving being about gratitude and being grateful. I can't imagine anything in my life that I'm more grateful for than my wife and the relationship that we have and where we're at today because of our relationship. I mean, it's a 100% kind of thing, of course, and I do my part, but I really credit her for so much that we've done and gone through together, and that she's just been a rock, so Thanksgiving I think is a great and it being their anniversary, that's a fantastic opportunity.
And I think
glad he's doing that.
And I think too, just for anybody listening, like, if once you get the kids to bed, and if it's you and your spouse, your partner, like, take the time to like just sit across from each other and talk about like what you're grateful for, and connect that way. Like make that a special time for you. Like hopefully your spouse or partner doesn't have to go to work the next day. And you can just enjoy maybe just being up that little bit extra to connect like that. So I think that's really cool that's something that they're looking to do.
So what about you? What's your plans then?
My plans. Well, I got one last one on here I thought was really cool.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. So one last one on here. This one's actually really cool. Their Thanksgiving tradition is that they said their unusual Thanksgiving tradition that they've been doing every year since they were in college is that they do a Harry Potter marathon. They start the very first movie either early morning or sometime the night before,
Yeah.
and they just they let them play all day while they're cooking and prepping for Thanksgiving. And they said that their parents are going to be
That's awesome.
coming to share the holidays with them this year. And so I thought that was really cool too. I'm like, that's neat. Yeah. Throw on a set of movies. Like, why not? And just, have them playing in the background. And I mean, the kids can sit and enjoy them or run out, and it's no big deal because I'm pretty sure probably it sounds like they've seen them multiple times. So
Yeah.
makes it that much fun. Me particular. So we had to have the hard conversation with my folks about not coming for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And so that was rough because my sister is actually flying in with her new husband. They just got married last year, and we just felt like, especially with the rise of everything, like it would be in our best interest, safety wise, to just stay here at the house and just, we'll probably Zoom with them and just connect that way. But it's sad. Like I'd love to be able to go see my grandmother. She's the only one that's not in a nursing home right now. I got I got a grandfather in the nursing home, and then she's not in the nursing home. And then I lost my grandfather at the beginning of this year, and my grandmother the year before that. So it's a kind of a lot of emotions wrapped up in there. But yeah, we're just gonna hang out here at the house and just enjoy eating some food, probably watching some movies. I'm a big classic movie guy. Like, I love movies. And so, we'll probably watch Home Alone 1 and 2. Maybe a little National Lampoon Vacation. I don't know. Or National Lampoon
You
Christmas.
said classics. That's not where I thought you were going. I'm just going to tell you. I thought you were like, Casablanca. It's an amazing film because of this. No. Home Alone 2. Rock.
No. I'm talking about, I'm an 80s kid. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So all that kind of stuff. Elf will probably get watched because that's a favorite. Depending on how the mood strikes us, maybe we pull out the Christmas tree and actually put it up at that point. Typically usually the day after or somewhere around there is when we do that kind of stuff. But
yeah, that's too.
Yeah, we'll probably play board games. The kids have really gotten into that. We actually played Monopoly for the first time, and they really enjoyed that. So Ticket to Ride, Monopoly, all that fun stuff. Just sit down, play some games, just enjoy being around family. That's what we have planned. What about you?
Nice. We've been staying home the last couple of years, just been our family. And like last year I had one of my very good friends over. And this year with everything else, we just don't feel safe, I guess, going out to anybody else's house. So last couple of years we've done it since my mom passed. It just kind of broke up the rhythm of everything else. And with having, 4 kids and the fact that I want to cook everything. I mean, I really enjoy cooking. I want the turkey and, and the mashed potatoes and that big old salad and just everything else. I'm going to make some kind of drink for the kids, just something, and it could be something ridiculous like a seltzer water with, orange dye in it to make you think of Thanksgiving for some reason or whatever, but something that's very special for them. And then a drink for my wife and I that might be, alcoholic or not. But just, I really love doing all that stuff. And you can't do that unless you're at home, really. I mean, not easily. So we decided it's going to be easier for everybody. We'll just stay home and we're going to have a video chat, hopefully with most of our extended family. We're down here in Georgia and like my wife's family's all in Minnesota. So we're going to get on a call of some kind of video and just have a Zoom chat with them or something like that and just say happy Thanksgiving. But really just staying close to home. And I think for us, we do need that, even though we're home a lot right now. We need being at home to be a special thing for just a day. We need a celebration, thankfulness, being grateful about things, realizing how good we've got it, especially with little kids. I mean, we talked about earlier about, 6 and 7-year-old kids, they think about themselves and that's it. They just, what do I have to do to get what I want? And that sort of thing, that really, you take just a few moments and help them understand what gratitude is and help kind of push them out of that envelope to hopefully grow into adults who at least consider being grateful about stuff. So I really want Thanksgiving this year to be about, okay, today we're going to decorate the house. We're going to, put up whatever we want to put up, not Christmas decorations, but put up like the little pilgrim salt and pepper shaker, and things like that, just the goofy stuff that we've got. And just have that as this is that moment, this is that day, because we're grateful for each other,
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I can pull that off. I may just get terribly frustrated and go, okay, order Chinese food. I'm done with this. And we're going to just sit around and I'm going to yell at you because you spilled my gravy all over the floor. So who knows? But more than likely.
We're watching football.
Yeah, we're football and that's it. I don't want to talk. But yeah, we're keeping it close to home. And as you mentioned, on the Friday after is our day, we put up the Christmas tree. Kids are already planning that one. They're ready to go. The little kids know. We have a train that is, it's a cheap little plastic train, but they love it like it's made of gold. And so we're going to put that up around the tree, and they're all planning about where it's going to be and how to keep the cats out of it and things like that. So I think it's going to be a great day. I'm really looking forward to it, even though it's going to be a lot of work. I think it's all going to be worthwhile.
I think it's always going to be a lot of work, but yeah, it is kind of what it all comes down to. So it sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm sure that even if parts of it get pulled off, it'd be a good time for everybody. Hopefully, you mentioned like drinks or whatever, and I've been to like different people do different things. It's really cool. Like some people will make like a pot of like mulled wine or whatever. I think or is it mulled? Yeah, mulled.
Yeah, mulled wine or mulled cider.
We went to one friend's house a couple years ago. They were making like these amazing cocktails for everybody. In my family, we have a really old recipe. Well, I don't even know how old it is, honestly. It's been around for a long time in my family. It's literally called slush.
All right.
Which is interesting because a lot of times I get called a lush because no one pronounces my name right because it's pronounced loosh.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brock.
I know, see? So it's called slush, and it looks like slush. It really does. Basically, what you do is you take one of those like 1 gallon ice cream buckets.
Okay.
And you're oh gosh, I don't even know. It's like so many like things of that frozen concentrated orange juice and some lemonade that's the same way, like concentrated lemonade. And then you brew like 8 bags of like black tea.
Okay.
And all this gets put into this bucket. And then at the end, you take a whole bottle of apricot brandy and dump it in there. Yeah, stir it all up and freeze it. And you freeze it and it's solid. I mean, even though you put like an entire bottle of alcohol in there, like it takes a few days, but it'll freeze. And then you scrape it out with like an ice cream scraper and you put it into a glass and then you pour like 7-Up or Sprite on top of it. And it's delicious.
It sounds good. I'm going to expect to see that recipe in the show notes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not sharing that one. That's a family one. Sorry. It's a good one though. I just give you the brief of it all. But yeah, it's really tasty. And we made it, I think we made some of it a year or so ago. My parents came down for like Christmas or something. And they were like, "Well, you got the drink." I'm like, "We made slush." And my dad's eyes lit up. He was like, "What?"
Nice.
I'm like, "Yep, I got the recipe from Grandma. We made it." And he was
awesome.
like, "Oh my gosh!" So that was really cool. But yeah, so that'll be the one thing. We won't make it to like actually drink probably on Thanksgiving because it takes time. But we'll probably end up if we get all the ingredients, making it like on Thanksgiving to have like throughout the month of December. Basically, I told my wife, I was like, "We're going to have to make 2 batches. This is gonna last." But yeah, so that's kind of our fun thing.
Do it while you're decorating the tree and drinking and singing Christmas songs.
I don't do eggnog, so not especially not with a moose. I don't know, like the moose cup.
Nice
National Lampoon reference there for anybody that didn't know. So that's kind of what we've got so far for Thanksgiving itself. I know you started talking about desserts, and so we'll get into that as well. Do you do anything special for breakfast for in the morning? Because like for me, like you've got like the Macy's Day Parade, but is there anything else? Like, does your family do anything?
Well, I'm probably going to be serving about 1 to 2, so no. I might make like I will say something easy, and this isn't going to sound as easy, but like French toast is really easy.
Yeah.
Pancakes as well. I mean, in waffles, it's something like that. It's not going to be anything too over the top, but we're definitely going to have something just on the table. And I'm thinking I'd like something where I can like put up a plate of waffles or pancakes or something like that and just have it sealed up, and then the kids can come when they wake up, because I'm not going to wake them up that day. I'm going to let my teenager sleep as long as she wants, and then if they get up to watch the parade, that's fine. If they get up and can help in the kitchen, all of them are learning to help cook, so they all have their different tasks. But if they're not there to do it, of course I think I can get it done without them. Might go faster even.
Pancakes, French toast, that's definitely easy and nice too. It's almost like it's made to order. So as they straggle out of bed, it's really easy to slap some of that down on a griddle and serve it up. And so maybe your older ones will just do it for themselves. Make it even easier for you. I know my son, if I gave him the opportunity to at 7, he would be like, yeah, I'm making pancakes. But my kids actually asked for a pineapple blueberry crumble that my wife makes, which is really yummy.
Pineapple blueberry, that sounds good.
It's really good, like frozen blueberries, and throw some pineapples all together and mix it with like oatmeal and some other like, I forget what else she uses in it, brown sugar or whatever. It's delicious. I can get you the recipe for that one.
Is it cook it in a pan or the crock pot or
it's in a pan? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's done in a pan. So it's delicious. That one I'll get recipe. I'll get a show notes. Yeah. I'll give a show notes recipe for that one, because that one's really good. I think she got that online or something, but it's delicious. And then something that I came up with, actually, we just served it for the first time here in the house and the kids really loved it. It's a salmon scramble. And so I got this off of the mashupmom.com, which is a website that saves my life when it comes to planning meals. But it's literally to feed a family of 4. It was like 8 eggs. And then you go by, those like slabs of smoked salmon that are like the locks or whatever that you like eat them with like crackers or whatever. So you get one of those and you chop it all up. Like you kind of make it really small. And then you take like 3 to 4 ounces of like cream cheese and get that ready. And so what you do is you get the eggs scrambled up, get it to where it's kind of solid, but also a little liquidy. Throw in the cream cheese and the salmon and get that cooked up real nice. And you can even throw in some like green onions if you want to, whatever. And then you just serve it. And oh my gosh, it's so good. Like the smoked salmon just takes over. But the kids really liked it. And you can serve it with like bagels, and you don't even have to like smear cream cheese on them because that's already in the eggs. So you just like throw it on the bagel and eat it. It's delicious. But yeah, the kids are like, we want that for breakfast too. Nice. And I'm like, it works for me. Like that's really easy to make. Like it took me like 30 minutes to put that together. So not a problem. But yeah, that's kind of what we're doing for the morning, and then probably just watching the parade, which will be so different this year. They've already said that the Macy's Day Parade is going to be so weird.
It's going to be, it's going to be, well, and it's just another thing we're getting used to. It's just a new way of doing things, and maybe it'll help us appreciate it more next year.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say that's probably going to be the case for sure. But then, of course, after you get all those fun things into eating, you get into the best part, which I consider to be is dessert. So many good options for dessert. I like going down memory lane, but for me, my grandmother's made amazing desserts. And my grandmother that passed away a little over a year ago, she made like so many pies. It was nuts. Like it reminds me of my mother-in-law. Like she used to make tons of pies too, but she's kind of gotten away from it here just with some other things that have gone on in her life. But like go to my grandmother's house. It was like chocolate pie, rhubarb pie. It was like some sort of like lemon meringue was there, cherry pies, apple pies. It was just like, she just like, maybe like employed the Keebler elf for like an entire week or something and made pies or something like that. But at our house though, my wife is the queen of the pumpkin pie. That's her thing. Makes her own crust and has her own little recipe for making a pumpkin pie. And she can literally take like one can of that like pumpkin whatever
Nice.
it is that they usually use, and she can basically like spread that into almost like a pie and a half the way that she does it. So, and it's a thick pie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pumpkin
that's
puree.
pretty much everything is pumpkin pie. Like my daughter for her birthday this year, we're like, what do you want for birthday cake? I want pumpkin pie. Like that's what she asked for.
All
So
right.
you get an idea. You get an idea of where that
Yeah,
sets in
yeah.
the family.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah, we're probably just gonna. I honestly am gonna buy a sweet potato pie or two, and then some whipped cream and ice cream. I'm not. I'm not big on dessert because honestly, we I have so much food on the table. If you're still hungry, well, good luck. But we'll have hot chocolate, which is a big thing, especially here in
Okay.
Georgia, because we don't need anything hot yet. It's still 75 degrees during the
I
day,
was gonna
so
be like, what are
yeah.
you doing
Oh,
drinking hot chocolate in Georgia?
it's awful, but they love it. So it's kind of like more like warm chocolate, It won't even
You just set it
yeah,
outside and let it warm
right.
up.
Yeah, it won't even melt the mushroom. I mean, not mushrooms. I'm sorry. It won't even melt the marshmallows. You put them in there, and they just kind of sit there like, oh, this is kind of tepid. This is great. But the kids love it, and they will ask for it every single day if they could. Okay, yeah, I can. Yeah, we can do hot chocolate. That's no problem. Um, I'm good, but that'll probably be after the meal with the dessert. But who knows? That may be with breakfast too, because I want to have hyped up kids all day long.
Yeah, that's the other part too. It's like for my kids, it's like, all right, like, can I get them down for a nap? Can I make them tired enough to just have them pass out like while watching a movie or something along those lines?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It just all depends. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like both of us have got some pretty cool ideas for things.
Mhm.
I know that I'll probably be going and buying some like specialty beers and getting some couple bottles of wine for my wife and whatever to share. And the other thing that we got into that's really tasty is dates.
Oh, really? Huh.
And yeah, so we found this to be something that is really cheap to do at like Aldi. You can get like a container of dates, and you cut the seed out of them, and then you fill it with honey goat cheese,
All right. Huh.
and it is delicious. It's so good. And then we were playing around one day where I was cooking dinner and I was making bacon and we were wrapping them in
Yeah.
bacon. Oh my gosh, just leveled it up to a whole nother
Yeah,
thing.
you can't go wrong wrapping it in bacon.
Yeah. So that's a fun little, just like, you know, fun little appetizer to have on the side. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be for us. I don't think it'll be too weird other than the fact of the kids and us, we're looking forward to seeing, you know, the relatives and stuff, but it's not something that's going to happen this year. And so I think we've kind of come to terms with that, and we're just making it as fun as we can for the kids. And, you know, they've had their moments where they ask, you know, like, are we going? And it's like, no, we're not. And they're like, okay. And then like a few days later, they ask again, and like, all right, this is just going to be a constant thing until it comes and goes. So, and I think that's going to be the way with a lot of the families. I mean, I think for a lot of us, it's just going to be a constant, like, hey, like, it's going to be okay. We're going to have a good time. And I think reassuring your kids that it's going to be fun and we're going to make it fun. And,
Mhm.
you know, however that looks, like, that's the biggest thing, like just reassuring your kids. And then too, like, if you yourself are feeling glum about it, like reaching out to other dads and talking to them, I think is a big part. Like, I was thinking about this, you know, on NPR, they have on the day of Thanksgiving, like a call in where you call in and you talk to people about like how you make the turkey and ask all these different questions. Have you ever heard that before?
No, I haven't.
No. So it's this really neat show where basically people call in and they have questions about how do you make this or how do you make that, or like I've heard this is, you know, it's just like all this stuff. And so it's just like this show where they're trying to help people out. And I thought about it from this standpoint, like on Thanksgiving, there are gonna be folks who are just gonna be like, I don't know if I can make it through this day. Like, this is gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be a lot missing out. And the thing that I think I want people to basically really grab onto is the idea of, just because it's Thanksgiving doesn't mean that you have to sit in silence in your emotions of things, but to reach out to other people. Like, yes, are we with our families? Of course we are. but are we willing to take time to hear other people and be there for them? Like I think a lot of folks would be. Honestly, if someone texted me or called me and said, I really need to like just talk to somebody right now, like I know my wife would be like, go take five,
Yeah.
10 minutes and talk to them, give them a chance to get some things off their chest. And so I just really want to stress that to anybody listening, that if it's gonna be a tough day for you, like find that person and reach out to them and share with them what you're going through, and get that off your chest, and hopefully that will lighten things up for you to where you can at least enjoy the day and give thanks for the things that you're grateful for. So that's my, I guess, what you call it, like my action step for anybody that's listening to this at this point. You got anything along those lines for any of the listeners?
Well, I think anybody that knows me knows that I am all about all of my emotions, whatever they may be. There's a time and a place for everything, of course, but I have no problem, and really have never had a problem, talking about the things that I like, the things that I love, the things that I dislike. And when it comes to Thanksgiving, there's so much that can be involved in it. And because there are so many family traditions, this year, and really every year, you're making your family traditions. Each person, each parent, each family is deciding what their family traditions are going to be or not going to be. And if there's something you really, we have to make, cranberry cobbler or whatever thing that you have that's been in the family for 30 years, you don't. If it's your kids don't like it or you don't like it, that's fine. Or if you want to do your Thanksgiving differently, we've talked about some great examples tonight. What you're doing, you go with what your kids want, you go with what your family wants, and that can change, of course. 10 years from now, I'm likely not going to be, cooking this huge meal, and on the other side, you probably will be, because your kids will be in their teens and be that time. Oh yeah, can I have 2 turkeys and 80,000 rolls? But make it your own. And everything that we do, I think this month for me is revolved around it being November and having that thought of men's health in so many facets and so many ways that we kind of forget about or neglect sometimes. I'm very thankful that I'm growing up, if I could say that, in a world where it's becoming very, very okay to talk about how you're feeling, and to be able to help other people say, well, you're having what's going on, what's doing it. It seems like a small thing to me, but if it's a big thing to you, that's what's important, being able to support your friends. And especially, I will say, with at-home dads, we have just a natural kind of insulated, it's just me and my kids all day for the next 300 years. And the community's there for you. And I think it's very good that you pointed it out. If you need somebody, you just call somebody and say, hey, I just need 5-10 minutes. I burned the turkey. I'm wrecked. Thanksgiving's done. I don't know what to do now. And of course, it's you in that moment. It's where we are when we hit that, oh, I failed, I got to do this thing, oh my goodness, what did I do to the turkey? Thanksgiving's not ruined. Thanksgiving's about being thankful and being with family, even if that means grandma and grandpa don't get to see you that year. It's okay. So I think that's my focus on it this year, and for all of the people, all the dads that I know, that hopefully they can take that away from this as well, is it make it what you want it to be, and if you need help, ask.
That's great. We've covered a lot of good stuff, and I hope that everybody listening has a great Thanksgiving, a very happy Thanksgiving. I'm very grateful for everybody that I've come into contact with this past year online, and just the conversations that I've gotten to have, and I'm grateful, really am, for everything. And so I hope everybody listening, you get time to enjoy with your family. Share with us what you guys are doing. I'm sure that a lot of people will within the closed group and stuff, but feel free to leave us messages on Anchor FM as well, and let us know what's going on. But thanks for joining us for this show, and I hope that you got something out of it, and we will talk to you very soon on a coming up episode. Have a good night.